Hello, welcome back. So this is my sixth episode of the Marble Disc project, and I wanted to um, have some progress for you to show you. So I've been working on this throughout the week, and I've come to a decision just yesterday that I think is going to give it a lot more dynamic. And it just so happened that I had a large tile of the same material, a little bit thinner. And one of the issues I was having was I wasn't feeling that the um, the disc had enough depth between the lowest point and the highest point, because I really want it to be a visual journey. I don't want it to be flat and washed out. I want it to have a lot of depth and shadow, so that it can be a very dramatic and striking piece. So I have cut out a ring that I will mount on, and then I will, if you've watched the previous videos, you'll have a better understanding of what it is that this whole disc is all about. But I'd originally intended to just mount on a ring of onyx, which I still will do a final bead of onyx, but it's going to be much thinner. I want it to be very delicate, and this will allow me to get away from having a big chunky piece and still achieve the shadow that I was looking for. So I've cut it out, and I've lined up the veining. I have some marked on lines here. And what I'll do is, before I go home for the end of the day, I'll actually glue this on, let that set up. Then I can finish shaping it securely. I don't have to worry about losing it. And because you really have to, whenever you're working with stone, you have to strategize what you do first, so that it doesn't affect the finishes later on. So all the core things you have to do first before you can start doing the fun things, the added on pieces. So I'll do that. Yeah, so I'll add that on, and then I'll thin that down, and that I think will really create that extra depth. And I've already started chamfering off the backside so that I can have it finish off into a nice curve. I want it to really echo the curve on the inside, the addition on the inside. I want it to also be curved on the outside. So that's the progress for that. And I've also shaped all of the roping or the knotwork pieces. So they're it's always important whenever you're dealing with pieces like this to not cut them too small to start with, because whenever you're cutting them, like I shape these with a carborundum blade on an angle grinder, and whenever you're shaping it with any kind of a power tool, when you're dealing with delicate materials, it will burn the material. So all the edges all the way around here are burnt. It's not obvious to the viewer at a distance, but up close, all the edges here are burnt from the speed of the blade, even though I had it on low speed. The only way to avoid that is to do it wet, but I don't have a wet saw to do that, so I did that dry. And what I'll do then afterwards is I'll hand sand in that. And once you hand sand it in, you have more control, and it'll tighten up all the surfaces, and so everything will get reduced all the way around. And eventually these pieces will become very thin, very delicate. I want these pieces to really be pushed to their max. I want them to be at their absolute lowest, and so that they can be very. I want it to look like glass or like almost like icing that's been drizzled on. I want it to be very, very delicate. That's always been the vision that I had in my mind when I first started this concept. On refining various aspects of it. There's always, whenever you're doing with marble work, there's always a lot of time spent in shaping, reducing, tightening up, and it's not the obvious for the progress. It's always easy to show great progress when you're shaping, but when it comes to refinement, it's like watching a train coming into the train station, if you want to use that as an analogy. And, it starts out fast and it comes in slow and slow and slow and slower, and it's those last few meters of coming creeping into the station that seem like they take forever. And that's very much the same kind of feeling that you have with marbles. That it's always those final stages that seem like you're not achieving very much, but that's the most important part. That's the subtleties, and that's where it all pays off. And so it's very rewarding, the end result. Okay, so back here, day 2, the next day, and as you can see, I've glued on the or epoxied on the marble ring onto the disc, and use the same epoxy that I did in this is a 2-part epoxy. It's actually proven to be quite good. This is only the second time I've used it, and I wanted to try it out with marble because there's only one way to find out, and you have to try it. And so far, it seems to be holding up quite well. So it's looking like there's some promise behind the product. Normally, I would have used a polyester resin, since it tends to have because it's oil based. It has penetrates better and it soaks in better and locks in, because the chemical properties of the polyester resin is that it shrinks as it's setting up, and that's an important property behind any kind of a resin. Is when it changes in its size, it literally locks the two materials together, whereas epoxy tends to just set up. But because this is quite a liquid epoxy as opposed to the thicker paste-based epoxies, it appears to have possibility of penetration. I talk about that in my onyx lamp project, some of the properties and considerations and concerns about using epoxy. So you might want to go back and watch that if you're interested in using epoxy with stone, because it is an important topic. So this is where I'm at, and what the next stage is to reduce the ring both on the outside and the inside. I want to bring it down to a thinner size, and I want to bring it into a consistent diameter. Again, I still have my center point. I'll use the dividers to mark on my lines, and then I'll reduce it in thickness as well, because the band is actually a little bit too thick still. So I wanted it there, but not too much, and so I'll reduce this possibly by half of its thickness, and then I think then it'll be the right height, and then I'll put the onyx on top of that, and so it'll be a bit of a layered situation, but I think that's a bit of a layered finish, but I think that's going to offer me the desired shadow. I think that hopefully people can agree that it's a more of a dramatic looking piece now that it has a bit more dimension. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that pretty much covers everything that I've got going on right now. I wanted to thank everybody for watching. I wanted to thank the new subscribers that I have to the channel. Fantastic. I'm so excited about that. looking forward to the future, and I have some new goals in mind. If we can double the subscribers over the next few months, that would be super awesome. Really looking forward to that. And that's a big milestone for this channel. So I'm glad that people are taking interest. It means a lot to me, and I hope that I can fulfill viewers' expectations. Um, it's I've got a lot of information that I can share, a lot of interesting ideas, and I'm glad to see you along as this channel develops. So welcome, and let's have fun, right? That's what it's all about. Is enjoying the world of stone and all that it has to offer. See you next time.